we've had a long, healthy discussion with you about we just call it Chapter 4, but it's the waste management rewrite. And this hits operators of all sizes because you've got smaller guys with what we call Schedule A pits, just smaller stuff, and then you've got larger commercial and produced water recycling pits and such. What was your thought process? You were the driving force behind this, and it does require some of the smaller guys to do things that they had not done before. What was your driving thought about getting that Chapter 4 rewrite, that section of the manual redone?
Well, as we kind of mentioned earlier, we're going through a lot of growing pains now, and we actually jumped into a new revelation kind of in the oil and gas industry. We used to just drill normal, straight down vertical wells, and when you say we discovered the shale, it was actually horizontal fracking that we discovered that allows us to go into different formations. It's a whole new way of drilling. So it brought a whole new issues of that came with that success about what impacts we were really making. And I stay concerned about the way we do it safely and the impacts that we're leaving on our environment. And that really was important for me to try to get out and stay ahead of that. Because if we don't stay ahead of that, it's going to run over us, and which means that it's going to be really detrimental to the success that we've seen in the oil and gas industry. So that's what drove those changes that I wanted to make there. And I can tell you, I had, I don't know how many meetings with a lot of industry, a lot of just public public on, how should this rule really be laid out and how should we change it? I think we did a good job. I think we've come a long way with our waste management rules or our environmental rules in the form that we can kind of stay ahead of anything that may be coming down the pike. When I want to talk about the pendulum of politics swing, just look at the Biden administration as an example. I can tell you that getting calls from the EPA back then saying, hey, we're going to pull your Class 2 injection authority. We're going to overview it, and we don't think you're handling that right. Their mission back then was to shut down the oil and gas industry. People don't realize that. There was no other mission there. It was shut down fossil fuel use, period. And anything they could do to do that, whether they could make it up or whatever they could do. So, I felt like we've got to get ahead of that because that can happen again. Another Biden administration can be elected back into the office. We need to get public confidence. And we need to get public support. And that's what I felt like we need to probably face first is what is our environmental, what are people concerned about in that? And how can we mitigate that concern so that we get more support pushing behind the oil and gas industry?